village ahead is abuzz with motion. You will have to face a great many kobolds. Desperate to block your path, your path a large crystal. They use it to manifest a magical battle. You hear the crackling power of more crystals. This Kobolds managed to erect their barrier on the other side of the shielded crystal. Their fortifications made your way to strike the crystal with an arrow of spell. With the crystal shattered, the barrier deteriorates. A small breach appears. The dragon awaits you disdainfully on the other side. Some of these chests are still warded, even after you slew the dragon. Perhaps something else is sustaining the ward. The air suddenly tears open. A towering magical door materializes. Something very large and very powerful is coming. An elder black dragon. It roars, casting its eyes for its progeny. When the dragon realizes you've slain its monstrous offspring, its wrath shall know no bounds.
Along the ridgeline, high above you, is a line of bamboo fencing. From this distance, it resembles descriptions of the primitive architecture used by various wildmen tribes. The cavern ahead reeks of feline occupation. This must be where the panthers make their den. The jungle canopy gives way to a shrub-filled clearing. From the southwest comes the tang of salty sea air. As the salty tang in the air grows stronger, you notice a bamboo bridge crossing the ravine. Perhaps it leads back towards Henrita's camp. The presence of... You must warn Henrita of the danger to Stormreach. With luck, you can make it back to camp without encountering any Droam forces. Through the brush ahead, you hear a guttural voice calling for death to intruders. Crumbling ruins rest on the plateau above. While the stones are ancient, the tents and banners around them are not. From ahead, a rough voice barks out. "Soldiers of Droam, stand down. The war captain wishes to parley with the intruders." hope of avoiding war with Droam has vanished. Their invasion of Zendrik will be slowed, enough perhaps to give Stormreach time to prepare for war.
Your gifts are acceptable, says the Minotaur chieftain. But they will not be enough to hire my people as mercenaries.
The chieftain bellows.
Intruders! Slay them all!
Horam, Thorngang! The Medusa ambassador calls out. Protect our future governor! The sound of a warning bell echoes down the streets. More Minotaurs pile out of the nearby buildings to see what's going on. Doris is underwhelmed by your performance, grumbling about too much noise and not enough violence. Is waiting for you in the plaza as arranged. Yet the captain of the guard looks worried and agitated. The audience chamber is strangely quiet. There's no trace of the coin lords, and unusual statues stand in the center of the room. You have freed all of the coin lords from the Medusa's curse. This dusty chamber appears to be some sort of maintenance room. A narrow tunnel filled with rushing water lies beneath the grate. You could fit into the tunnel. Hestis the Medusa stands before you. She seems unconcerned on the surface, but her snakes hiss and glare in your direction. The Medusa falls, dooming Droam's attack on the palace to failure. You stopped their plans for now, but the monster nation will surely return to threaten Stormreach again. Rumbling sound emanates from a nearby corner of the plaza. Guard Captain Tullis appears worried. You've beaten back Droam's surprise attack. This would be a good time to tend to Tollis's injuries. In the huge crater, a ladder and a tunnel lead off into the darkness. It shouldn't be too difficult to climb down. In the huge crater, a ladder and a tunnel lead off into the darkness. It shouldn't be too difficult to climb. The construction of the tunnel shows it was quickly, but professionally built. It must have taken an army of mining engineers to dig this far under the city. Astounded by your presence, an explosives-laden kobold yelps.
Storm reinforcing! Blow them up! Blow them up!
As the master demolitionist flees deeper into the tunnel, he leaves behind explosive mines. They're just as likely to blow up on his fellow kobolds. He doesn't seem to care as long as the mines slow you down. That huge explosion blocked off the rest of the tunnel. The rubble is too heavy to move by hand, and too dense to smash through. Only something very powerful can clear it. This cavern is crammed with supplies. It's a staging area for the Droam army. The thick smell of smoke in the air suggests the presence of explosives nearby, as does the charred corpse of an unfortunate ogre. This minefield must stretch across the whole cavern. But perhaps there's a way to quickly clear a large number of mines at once. A bridge crosses an underground chasm here. Falling would not be advisable. A familiar kobold voice barks.
Blow them up! Blow them up now!
You have found the lair of the Demolitions Master. You've reached the end of the tunnel. Surely this must exit to Droam's base of operations here on Zendrik. With your mission accomplished, you should report back to the Coin Lords for further instructions. The smoking body of the Demolitions Master crumples to the ground. You've defeated Droam's scheme to undermine Stormreach. Summerfield is ablaze. Black smoke pours from countless buildings. Atop the hastily built, the sound of pillage echo off the remaining city walls. Unless you stop the Droam army, Summerfield's fate will be shared. Eldritch portals open along the building ledges. Droam has begun their new assault. Several moments pass without portals appearing. While the Droam army commander reformulates his strategy, you have a chance to dispose of enemy forces inside Summerfield's broken walls. Droam's rampage through Summerfield knows no bounds. Nothing is safe from their marauding ways, not even rest shrines. You've slain the majority of Droam forces looting the burning ruins. But beating war drums indicate the invaders are preparing a new assault. This is likely the last working fountain in the Summerfield district. Rank odors from the Stormreach sewer system waft up. The sewer tunnel beyond this hatch leads to the other side. Just as you try and get the flash of a battering ram erupts from the direction of the southern barricade. The Sallyport flankers were a diversion. The true assault is just beginning. Scream of rage echoes off the city walls as he falls dead. A mournful roar rises from the Droam encampment in response, indicating that with Tagarist's death, the siege on Summerfield is ended.
You hear sounds of activity beyond this door.
guards are nowhere to be seen. Did they escape? Or are they trapped inside with the invaders? Strange cairns litter the floor, the reason behind their creation. Dead. The crisis is over. For now.
The Droam fleet has gathered here during this dark night, probably for mutual protection. Such measures might help against a naval attack, but not against you. This is the private quarters of Bash, the ogre veteran of the last war. It appears to be unoccupied at the moment. Bash, the Droam veteran of countless raids against the civilized peoples of Corvair, the alarm rings out. The crew of the Carnage will now be ready to confront you. The lower decks of the Carnage is abuzz with activity. The entire crew is awakened by the alarm. The hatch to the mine bay looks like it requires some kind of crest to unlock. It's likely from bays like this, the Droam fleet has deployed enough mines to stop all shipping in Stormreach Harbor. If you can get past the Kobold engineers, you can find a way to deal with the mines. The snores of sleeping crew come from below. With enough care, the hatch to the mine bay looks like it requires some kind of crest to unlock. From here, the Vengeance uses a complex system of rails and pulleys to deploy mines into the water. Alert Kobold engineers, keep watch. The crew of the Vengeance has been alerted to your presence. One down, 2 to go. Even the deepest slumbering Droam soldier would have awoken from that explosion. The remaining Droam forces will now be alert to your presence. Just one more Droam ship to send to the bottom of the ocean. The Bloodlust's crew is awake down here, growling to each other as they search for you. The hatch to the mine bay looks like it requires some kind of crest to unlock. This is the Bloodlust's mine bay, where Kobold engineers tend to the equipment. You will need to sneak or fight past them in order to perform your sabotage. Have been detonated, and the mine layers are sunk. You have broken the Droam blockade of Stormreach Harbor. You emerge from the tunnel among giant ruins. The rancid stench in this cave is sickening and almost palpable. Is the entire army using it as a latrine? This large half-orc cook smells of bacon. His whole frying pan spits oil. This area serves as a field kitchen. Destroyed soldiers have bunked down in this hallway. Many beds are empty. Are those casualties? Or have they gone out on assignment? This must be the Army's arsenal. That's a lot of explosives for one room. How convenient. That's the biggest barrel of explosives you have ever seen. Careful. Officers of the Droam army fall from the hole in the roof. What do you know? The second biggest barrel of explosives you've ever seen is here too. soldiers in the hallway ahead are still asleep. They must be used to loud noises. An ancient giant temple complex rises high. Is this the reason for this bloodstain on the ground looks suspicious? Where's the body? Did they eat it? The blood hasn't dried yet on this altar. Who was sacrificed here? And to whom? There were no humans on Zendrick back during the time of the Giant Empire. These human bones must be a recent addition to the stuff. The rhythmic sounds of mining picks on stone resound from down below. A monotone chant echoes from a withered and bent figure stands before you. The hag fades away with a taunt.
You didn't really expect me to fight without my arm?
The hag grumbles at
To get here. Killed enough of my troops, have you?
fades away again, cackling.
Oh, but it's all my second call. I foresee a deadly challenge in the future.
The green hag fades away once more.
So, you've killed every officer who knew about the mission. That'll do just fine. I'll leave you now, but here's one last thing to remember me by. Behold the might of Droam!
The lights on the floor go out. The portal collapses, cutting off further reinforcements from Droam. Your mission is a success. The few remaining stragglers pose no threat to Zendrick.
You immediately spot a lone figure crouched near the entrance to the loading dock. This must be Stefania Martikov, Davian's daughter.
Please, bring the ingredients for the antidote and purify the wine.
Stefania begs.
Our wine is the last drop of hope some people have.
A druid kneels on top of one of the huge vats. Protected by mystic wards, she is completely absorbed by her task, poisoning the wine inside the vat. The Martikov family makes its home in this part of the winery. A cave leads down into the dark and the damp. You found all the ingredients needed to purify the wine. Now to add the antidote to the large wine vats on the main floor of the winery. The druid prepares to attack.
Why do you insist on that?
She asks.
Without their little magic gems, this winery is doomed anyway. Very well. I'll slit your throat, then add your blood to my poison.
Plant-like forms run forward to protect the druid. More blights rush to the defense of the poisoner. With the druid poisoner taken care of, you rush to add the antidote to the wine vats. The choking stench of the poison clears and is replaced with a sweet smell of fermenting grapes. Thanks to you, the Wizard of Wines will produce one more vintage.
Giant bramble walls indent the ward fades, and some of the unearthly mists part. You are now able to enter the ruined village of Berries. The last scarecrow crumbles, and the magic of the nearby ward is disrupted. A section of mist fades, allowing you to explore further. With of the ward gone, the nearby mists part. Faint cawing can be heard in the distance to the west. A piece of parchment catches your eye in the ruins to the southwest. The freed raven flies off. The ward's mansion fades, allowing you to explore further into the village. Flapping wings and frantic caws can be heard from the ruined building to the northwest. The raven caws in thanks as it flies away. With the ward disabled, the mists part, revealing the ruins of a mansion. Sounds of weeping can be heard further into the ruins. Frantic crying can be heard from a large clearing past the ruins of the mansion. The ward is dispelled and the nearby mists subside. You can now make out a large area of open swampland to the southwest. Perhaps Baba Lysaga's hut can be found there. Loud caws can be heard from both the southwest and the south. A raven caws loudly, as if it's trying to get your attention. The creature drops a small... The grateful raven flies off. Far off in the distance, one of the wards protecting Baba Lysaga's hut fades. You've found what must be Baba Lysaga's hut. But the magic mists that swirl around the building prevent you from entering. A nearby raven croaks excitedly. A metallic click can be heard from the raven's cage as the creature. You've deactivated a ward protecting Baba Lysaga's hut to the east. The raven you freed flaps its wings and flies off. The magic wards near Baba Lysaga's hut have all been removed. The ensorcelled mists lift, allowing you to enter the area. A rank smell fills your nostrils as you enter the surprisingly spacious hut. A caged raven makes a commotion in the northeast corner. As the raven flies toward the exit, it says,
Take the gem from the chest and flee. This hut is more dangerous than it appears.
A deep groan reverberates from the floorboards as the gem is removed. Then a hunched figure suddenly appears in the doorway.
chill wind blows down from the slope as you approach Yester Hill. Dark, ominous clouds gather high above it. A strange, rhythmic chant can be heard in the distance. Arcs of lightning jump from stone to stone, blocking your path. Lightning dances amongst the cairnstones, ringing the hill with an eerie light. Forms emerge from the mists and attack. With the destruction of the last foe, the lightning dancing between some of the nearby stones flickers and dies. Falls, a gap opens in the lightning-ringed stones. The chanting grows louder as you approach the crest of the hill. A wave of dread washes over you as you enter the circle of stones. Ahead is a huge, looming statue, a statue you recognize as Strahd. The Archdruid shouts, "Do not let them disrupt our ritual! Attack! Stop them! Stop them!" The desperate Archdruid screams. The Archdruid howls.
Our ritual must be completed. It is Lord Strahd's will.
You examine the statue and find a hollowed-out cavity in the chest. A glowing green gem rests inside. You've stopped the Druid's dark ritual and recovered the magic gem they stole from the vineyard.
Perched on a snowy...
At long last, your journey has brought you here. To a place of kindness and madness. A place of sun and shadow.
You open the crypt, which seems to be empty. But then, the cold ground around you shifts as something rises from it. You search the crypt and find some valuable items hidden deep inside.
I see a wizard who has slept through the ages. His bed is cold, and his blanket is made of marble. Be wary, traveler. Many enemies will oppose you, and perhaps a friend
as well.
Bestial figures look up as you approach. You see a tiny metal key in the ground. And pick up the tarnished key. Two strange creatures guard the entrance to the main hall of the Abbey. They watch you curiously as you approach. Otto unlocks the door with the key.
Door open. See Abbot now.
You are greeted by a handsome figure who moves with the grace of a saint.
Welcome, stranger. Let this be a refuge of warmth and light in a cold, dark world.
Says the abbot.
Please, explore the grounds. Let me know what you think of my handiwork.
A strange figure stands in one corner of the room, lost in her own thoughts. The dust that covers most of this room shows that it is seldom used. Strange whoops and unnerving screams echo from the floor below. Tall, silent forms shuffle down the corridor, while strange cries come from behind closed doors. Strange creatures burst from behind the doors, shrieking madly.
Food! Food, so hungry!
You found the sun sword, though something seems to be wrong with it. The legends say it blazed with a blinding light, but this is just a lifeless hilt. Perhaps Irina knows how to make it shine again. A hatch in one corner of the room leads down into the cellar.
A decrepit shrine overlooks a small, tranquil pool. You open the gate and let Irina into the shrine.
There you are. This seems so familiar, but I'm sure I've never been here before. Did you bring the sunset? I feel that it somehow holds the key.
Irina takes the sun sword and tenderly places it on the shrine.
This was his sword. And this is where we would meet. Early in the morning during midsummer.
Yet the sun sword remains inert. There is no sound, but the water lapping at the edge of the pool. Suddenly, an image appears in the sparkling waters of the pool. A handsome youth with a kind and noble visage. The sadness in his eyes turns to sudden joy.
Tatiana, it has been so long. Come, my love, let us be together at last.
Irina gasps.
Sergei, my beloved! Oh, we were to be married so long ago. Has this blessed pool called your spirit to me?
As she reaches for Sergei, she is pulled down beneath the rippling water and into her lover's embrace. You have never seen a happier couple as they begin to fade from view. For a moment, all is quiet. Then a peal of thunder shakes the land, and a deep, dark voice from beyond the mountains cries out,
She is mine!
A dark figure appears near the shrine.
She's escaped! Escaped to where I cannot follow!
Cries Strahd.
And you helped her! You suffer for that!
Strahd winces as he enters the pool. Part of this place's holy power must still linger.
The gleam in her eyes was like warm sunlight on a still pond. That light is gone forever. When I try to imagine those eyes, all I see is a mad abyss. This is a waste of my time. You are trapped here, just as I am. Better to leave you alive. I can watch your dreams die slowly.
With that, Strahd vanishes with the wind. For a moment, you despair at being left behind in this dreary, defeated land. Then, without warning, the sun sword blazes forth with a warm, bright light. You pick up the sun sword. The instant you touch the hilt of the dazzling weapon, you realize that this is the weapon that could slay Strahd. That this is the key to ending his dominion. Something starts to grow within you. Something you had almost forgotten. Hope.